Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. Today I'll be painting a really different subject. I think this will be the first time that I'll be doing something like this. And I'm just so excited because, there's always something new for me to learn. And it's not just you learning from me. I'm also learning from my own process and from my own choice of subjects. So today we will only be using a few colors, okay, which I like because I really don't want to be stressed about, I don't want you to be so stressed about the colors that we'll be using every single time that I do the painting. So I'm just going to prepare it. I'm going to list them down in the description box below, but we'll be using primary blue, okay. We'll be using titanium white, of course. Lots and lots of whites today. I haven't really told you the subject, but I'm going to tell you the colors first before I tell you. I'll be using a little bit of red, but that would be later because we don't want the paint to dry because that would be the last thing that we will do. I'm going to get my black. And that's it. So I'm going to do the sketching now. Actually, we don't need to sketch this one. We don't need to sketch this one. We can simply proceed with the painting, with the subject. And I'll be using fluffy brushes. So just get yourselves your fluffy brushes. You can choose whatever brush that you want, the size that you wish. However, make sure that it is proportionate to your canvas paper to make it easier for you, or canvas, or stretch canvas. Sorry about the street noise. It's the weekend. It's actually Good Friday today. Uh, for Catholics, it's Good Friday today. So it's a holiday for us actually in the Philippines. So we're observing it because I'm working for the Philippine government. So we're observing the holiday. All right, so it's actually the best time for me to paint because uh, if I'm not doing anything, I'm painting or working out. So again, I'm gonna sketch first the subject, and we'll do first, okay, some gradient effect. The subject will be sky with clouds and some balloons. All right. So this is really interesting. I haven't really done anything like this in the past. So I'm just gonna grab my blue, primary blue, mix it with white. But make sure that it's more blue. Okay, I'm gonna add tiny bit of black because we don't want super highlighted blue or bright blue. And I'm just gonna start painting my sky. Oh my god, I'm just so excited to do this one. I hope I do this right. Well, anyway, I'm gonna do my best to make it right. Okay, at least for my eyes. While the paint is still wet, I'm just gonna grab some lighter version of that by adding white to the existing light blue color that I have. So again, I told you to we will do some gradient effect. So that this is it. So we will be doing some blue skies, but uh, in gradient effect. Okay, white right here. But while it's true that we're using white, I'm not really washing my brush, so the blue mixture is still there. I'm gonna add more white. I'm sorry guys, I forgot to tell you that we'll be using a little bit of purple. Okay, so more white. A little bit of black just to gray it a bit. We don't want it to be super bright white, at least for now. Okay, wait. I will do a little bit of purpley colors down here where the white color is, or where the light color is. Okay, but we will only be using only few drops of that color just to give it some purpley effect. Okay, I like this one. And then I'm gonna get my brush, a new brush. Okay, fairly large. I'm just gonna get a little bit of violet. Okay, a little bit of violet to mix with blue. Okay, just like that. So I'm gonna get my violet, mix it with the blue color. Okay, mix it with white. So basically the same color, only that we added violet. And I'm gonna add a little bit of that color up here. Okay, again, blue, violet, and the sky blue color that we just had. Okay, make it smooth. Okay, again, blue, violet, and white, and okay, blue. I'm gonna add tiny bit of black. Oh, that's too gray. So let me just adjust that. Again, we don't want it to be super duper black, but we want it toned down. So I'm gonna use just a mixture of that color up here and make it soft by blending the colors. All right. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna get my white and just go over this area. And as you can see here, I'm moving in a uh, horizontal way. Okay, the direction of my brush strokes is horizontal. I'm not really changing it because we're following the sky patterns. Okay, just like that. Maybe I'm gonna darken the corners. Again, just to frame your painting. Just to frame your painting, you can darken the corners. Not too dark though. Just like that. Very nice. Okay, very, very nice. Now I'm gonna get some red. Okay, we'll be mixing it with the violet color that we have here. We'll be doing some pinkish colors right here on the bottom area. So I'm gonna get my red, mix it with the existing violet bluish color to make some pink. If you have your pink color, that's good. It's okay. You can use that. And I want to spread some of that color down here. Okay. Very subtle, okay? Okay, just like that. Soften it. Okay. All right, we're done with step one. Okay. Now I'm gonna get a fluffy brush. I actually haven't decided what brush, but I'm just gonna use this one. The tip of the brush is really like more of a round, and it has a tip right here. So it's just round. Look at the brush that I'm using. So you can get yourself a similar one. You can use your own technique. Actually, I'm just gonna show you how I'm gonna do this with this brush. I can actually use a square brush. It doesn't really matter, but I think this is much easier, especially for those beginners who are watching. You can use this one because it's going to create rounder patterns. This one, you might create a squarish pattern, which we don't want for the clouds. But for me, I can do it. But again, I'm doing this for tutorial purposes. So I'm just going to use this. Anyway, if this doesn't work, I'm just going to switch to the square one. I can always change my mind. That's the thing. And I really like that thinking. You can always change your mind when it's your painting. Don't be prisoner of your own painting. I think this is fairly dry, so I can proceed with creating some clouds, but I'm not really sure if it's dry enough for me to layer on something. Anyway, just to make it, just to delay, okay? Just to delay the process and for the paint to dry even more. We're going to create lots and lots of clouds right here, but we'll be doing a little bit of perspective. And on this side, we'll be drawing some balloons like up in the sky. So this will suggest the the view, okay, the distance of the viewer from this view. Okay, so this will suggest because the size of the balloons will not be too big. It means that we're looking from the distance. All right, so that's the important thing about this. All right, so I think, oops, it's still wet. My goodness, why did I even touch that? Okay, so I'm gonna prepare now the colors. Let's create some dark colors first. So I'm gonna use my white and black to create some gray colors like this. Okay, this gray. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of blue to that gray because remember that the sky is actually the sky is blue. So we don't want to create gray colors right away. We still want some bluish colors there. Okay, so it's just a mixture of white, black, and blue. Okay, and we're gonna try. Okay, I'm gonna try. If this does not work, we're just gonna wait for this to dry. Okay, this is okay. So we're gonna create first the dark colors. And of course, I'm using my hands because I am that type of painter. I always use my hands. Ooh, very noisy streets. Okay. So I'm just gonna apply some gray colors. Right here as well. You know, when you ask a child, okay, well, when I was a child, when someone asked me, what's the color of the clouds or the sky, I would always say, oh, it's white. It's like that. It's white. It's automatic, right? Because as a child, I only saw the more dominant color or the most dominant color, which is white. I didn't really see the other colors that were there. You know, if you've watched Girl with the Pearl Earring, you will understand what I'm talking about. When Johann Vermeer asked the girl with the pearl earring, um, what's the color of the clouds? She answered first white, but then later she answered, correcting herself, that the colors of the clouds are not just white, it's yellow, blue, and gray. Those were the colors of the clouds. That was really, really nice. It was one way of understanding, one way of looking at things very carefully, not just answering it straight away without thinking, without observing. Anyway, I'm gonna suggest that you watch that movie as well. It's about uh, Johannes Vermeer, the painter behind The Girl with the Pearl Earring. Is in The Hague. The painting is in The Hague. I haven't seen it. I have seen some works of Johann Vermeer in Amsterdam, but I haven't really seen The Girl with the Pearl Earring, which I'm really looking forward to, visiting someday. And definitely I will, because I love Vermeer. Okay. Let's proceed with doing some dark colors. If your brush is getting a little bit dry, you can simply wet your brush. Okay, now I'm gonna lighten the grayish color. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white to that, and I'm just gonna start creating lighter grays right here. And then some more darker grays right here. Okay, and also right here. Again, start creating some rounder strokes. And now let's lighten some areas here. I'm adding some lighter grays right here. So even on the clouds, we're doing a little bit of gradient. Okay, so from dark colors, we're going on lighter. And again, make it soft. Do not forget that. We don't want to forget that clouds are supposed to be soft looking. They are not supposed to look like hard objects in the sky. They're supposed to look like cotton candies. Okay, now I'm gonna get my white. This time, the most dominant color will be white. I'm just gonna go ahead and color and use my hand in blending. Again, I'm using pure white, but I'm not washing my brush. So the other colors that we previously used are still here on my paintbrush, which just gives it more connection to each and every part of the painting. Okay, some white. Let's go here. Okay, let's create some more. Create some more clouds. Yes, I'm just relayering. Okay. Some brighter whites on certain areas of the clouds. And right here. And even down here. I'm just going to highlight um, the clouds by using pure white and applying it on the edge of the clouds. Okay. I'm going to make this cloud more bright. Okay. You see, I'm just using only a few colors, but I'm trying to make it as nice as possible. Okay, now I'm gonna get lighter gray, and I'm gonna use water so that it's more smooth when I apply it. And I'm just gonna go around, certain areas, and I'm just dabbing. Because again, we don't want to create too much of a hard line anywhere. So I'm placing this gray color in between the dark grays and the whites just to balance things. Mhm. Right here. Okay, I'm gonna darken that so that we create some more dark colors this time. We're gonna darken a little bit of this area. Mhm. Soften it. All right. I want to see. Okay, I'll be doing a lot more. So using some gray color, I'm just gonna make some dabs of grays. You don't wanna forget those dabs of grays. That will make it like a little bit of smoky colors in the sky. Let's make everything neutral, all right? Let's not make everything just light blue and white. Let's make everything neutral. I'm just applying some gray color. Gray colors down here. Okay. Now I'm gonna switch to my square brush because I told you I'll be using it. Or I would like to use it, or I can use it. I'm gonna get more white because I already ran out of white. And let's continue. I'm just gonna lighten this area. It's a little bit dark. Okay, now I'm gonna use a little bit of violet and black. So a little bit of violet and black, and somehow we're gonna use that color on some areas. Very subtle, subtle application. You don't want to overdo this step. Just a little bit of that color. And down here. And then more white. Make this more bright. Okay. And we want to soften it. All right. Okay, I'm gonna get my gray color. And again, we wanna gray the bottom. We wanna gray this area. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Before we go back to doing some more details in the sky, okay, let's add some water down, Grace, okay, to add more grayness to the sky. Okay, try to gray it. All right. Just like that. And some white highlights. Okay. Just like that. Okay, now I wanna draw the balloons already. So before we go back to this area, okay, we will definitely go back to this. Let's draw some balloons because I want to draw it already. So I'm gonna use a really pointy brush. I'm gonna dab onto my red. I'm gonna mix my red with black so that it's not super, super duper red. Let's create some balloons here. So I'm gonna draw a red balloon like this, like that. Let's create another one right here. Like that. Maybe another one right here. Okay. At the back. Okay. Now let's color it with some reds. For now, it's gonna be this color. We will do the highlights later. Let's make it darker. Let's make it, it's not a black balloon, it should be a red balloon. Okay, just dark red. Right. Also here. Okay. I'm gonna create some white balloons. So I'm gonna get my gray. So white plus black to create the preliminary sketch or the drawing. You can make it darker so that you can see it. Okay, it's definitely wet, but I'm gonna work on it. Okay, now I'm gonna get my dark red and I'm just gonna go around the shape of the balloon, outlining it. Okay, again, you don't want it to be too obvious, but it should be there. Like the sketch should be there. Separating the balloon from the sky. Very subtle outline. Okay, this one doesn't need it. I'm just gonna get my red and recolor it. I see some colors. Okay, I'm gonna mix it with white. I'm gonna lighten this part. And this part. like that. I'm gonna use another brush just to be on the safe side so that we don't mix the red. Now I'm gonna get pure white. Pure white. I'm gonna color this area. Outline it a bit. Also here. I'm gonna use another brush because the tip of that brush is not it's not perfect. This part is super wet. I'm gonna get some light reds. Right. I'm gonna get some really pointy brush. Maybe more pointy. I'm gonna use this brush super pointy. I hope it works. Because even if it's small, the bristles, it's like wide, spread wide, spread wide, widely spread. What am I talking about? I'm gonna dab onto my gray. Let's start creating some sort of string like that. Your strings don't have to be colored white. Yeah, I'm gonna dab onto my black this time to give it some sort of realism. I'm gonna separate this balloon from this red one. All right, like that. Gonna dab onto my white again. Create some shine effect. I'm gonna dab onto my gray. We're gonna gray it without graying it too much. Just soft gray. Soften it. You can use another brush just to soften it. Mhm. It's still wet. I cannot believe how wet my paint is. Still wet. It's been a while. Right. We can correct some areas right here. Gonna make this more red like that. Okay, like that. Okay. Now we can go back to the clouds because I still want to add something to the clouds. I'm gonna use a very old brush of mine. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it worked in the past. So I'm just gonna go and dry brush again. I'm just using pure white. Okay. So now, using this big brush, I'm just going to get some gray colors. Gray. Okay. And as I told you, we're going to gray the bottom part. Let's make it gray. Okay. Now, using a clean pen brush, I'm just going to um, spread the paint evenly down here. Okay. Just gonna wash my brush out. My big old brush. And let's continue doing with some pure white. Okay. And I'm gonna grade this area. Okay, I'm gonna get my violet. And again, I want some sort of violet colors down here. Mm-hmm. Nice. And also here, just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit suggestion of purple. Okay. Right here. I'm literally using my fingers. All right. Wow, this is nice. So if you want, I'm just gonna make the shape more correct because I feel like it's not correct. You can correct the shape if you want, just like that, and just evenly apply the paint. Mhm. Okay, so I think I'm gonna sign this now. I kind of like this one. Again, this is my first time to do something like this. I really don't do things like this, and I'm so happy that I was able to show you how I do it. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'm gonna sign right here so that I get to cover this weird spot that I made. So instead of erasing it, I'm just gonna sign right there so that it gets out of the way. Perfect. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this one, guys, and I hope you paint along with me. If you're painting along with me, let me know in the comment section below. And see you in my next one. Have a good one, guys. Bye. Mhm. Love you.